Hello. Hello. Ah. Yes, we're back. I. Centauro, what's up? Moon, what's up? Zedric, hello. Ayaya, welcome. Yui, hello. Indra, hi. Yuri, hello. Anna, Katarina, HHHH, hello. Anthony Chow, welcome back. 52 Vol, welcome back. Nailu, hello. Serenity, hi. Nathaniel, hello. Hi. Hi. Person with the face emoji name, hi. Hello, everybody. Indra, thank you for the 5 months. Sheesh, 5 months. You guys are in for a treat today. I'm having a phenomenal day. Thank you, Primordial. Hello, everybody. Jam, what's up, Sophies? Hello. 27, hello. Zedric, again, hi. Fanatic, DVR, David, King Malcolm, Yukino, hello. Paulus, hello. How many of you finished the Archon quest? I'm assuming everybody finished it, yes? I'm doing good, Serenity. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well. There's an echo. There's an echo? Is there an echo? Ah. There's an echo? It might be... You might have a stream running on your browser, but maybe also Discord. This happened before. With a couple people. If there's no echo, I'm assuming there's no echo. Or like multiple instances of browsers. Yo! You guys are in for a treat. I don't know what happened. It might be because I got a good night's sleep. I'm assuming a lot of you finished. If you haven't, this is super spoiler territory. The treat is, remember yesterday we wrote down like a few different things about how like what we were interested in after the Archon quest was over? I have to go. Bye and have a great day. Thank you, Serenity, for stopping by. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I went back and I was looking through the notes, and then I went to like maybe 2-3 hours of lore diving on what actually happened and like some references from previous quests. And I've uncovered so many things. And these are not factual information, like these are not answers. However, there's very close, judging from the hints and connecting the dots. It's very close, and it feels very unlikely that some of the things that I'll mention today it's very unlikely that they will not happen. I don't know if that makes sense. Not happen. My point is, the clues are so apparent that a lot of the things I will say today might be very close to an actual answer. We'll see about that. Yeah, we shall see, because I wanted to share all the findings that I have to see what you guys thought about it. That way I can refer that and make a video out of it. You know what I mean? But yeah. Oh, my camera's not on. Would the timeline be discussed today? Yes. Yes. Hi, everybody. Hi. So, as far as I'm concerned, don't take what I say today as literal, like facts. However, in my personal opinion, they are very close to what I believe is the truth. Delta, welcome in. Hi, Islandxd. This is my first stream. Thank you. Hi. How are you? So, to give you a bit of like not, I guess a spoiler, but it's not, a lot of this is not really important until I explain it. This is what I have. These are the notes I wrote down after, in like a couple hours, actually, going through all the things that we discussed and all the things that I noticed. So those are some of the things we'll talk about. Yeah. Mainly, there are a few topics that are main focal points in this. And let me know if this is something that resonates with you, chat. One of them is who the voice is. Right? Undoubtedly, that's probably the most curious, thought-invoking situation within the Archon quest. The sinner, yes. Who that voice might be. The second one is what happened to Caribert? Right? That could be like a very thought-invoking topic. What actually happened to Caribert? Because we didn't see much of anything. And then another one would be... Let's see. Let's look at my notes. What is the Loom of Fate? Yeah? Yeah? What is the Loom of Fate? And now, aside from like Kaya, I might make the whole Kaya thing into another portion of a Theory Thursday, but there's so much that I need to go over. That Kaya wasn't... He was very important, by the way. The reason why he showed up, but we'll discuss that later. Another important thing is... What is the situation with the timeline of the Abyssal Sibling? Right? What is the situation with the timeline of the Abyssal Sibling? Those are the 4 things that we are probably going to discuss. Mainly. And then there's a lot of other extra things that adds to it. And we'll go over them one by one. Kaya equals Caribert. You're gonna have to wait and find out. See, here's the thing about Genshin Impact lore that I've noticed for doing this for over 2 years now. What you think on the surface is usually not the answer, because the real answer uncovers itself when you force yourself to connect some dots. So I want to say there is a possibility that Kaya is connected to Caribert. However, judging from my past 2 experience in this game, things are not so simple. Things are not so simple. And to get a full understanding, you have to go into every little detail. Right. So, all that today. Just a quick note though. I've seen some of you in chat said that you didn't like the Archon quest. And that's completely fair. I respect your opinion. But by the end of this quest, or by the end of this stream, you might change your mind. Because every single detail in this quest had a meaning. That sets up, explains, and foreshadows everything regarding Conria and the Cataclysm. So if you didn't like the quest, completely respectable, I might be able to change your mind though. After doing this deep dive research, yesterday I gave it a biased opinion of 9 out of 10. After this research that I did, it became 10 out of 10. It's insane, some of the connections that are in here. You think it's short, and it is. But some of the information is just so embedded into everything that we know that we just forgot. And I'm not just hyping this up. Who's excited? Can we get some poggers in chat if you're excited? I don't know how long the stream's gonna be. If you have to dip out in the middle, no worries. There's always a VOD for you. And from this stream, it's very likely that I might get 2 or 3 videos out of this. At the minimum, 1. So consider all the information we're sharing and discussing today is part of the upcoming video, but the video itself will not be this like, hello everybody, welcome to this. It's not going to be like that anymore. If you guys didn't get the news, what I'm planning on doing is doing the Theory Thursdays, having a topic in mind, discuss, and from the Theory Thursdays, consolidate my mind, lay it out in a very easy to understand way, and then make that into a video that is very similar to my big videos. That is the plan going forward. And this is a good starting point because we have a lot of information here. I know some of you liked my stream cliff notes theory videos, but personally, we can make this and merge it with what I used to do, the theory videos, and then just make it better. Yeah, if you guys saw the announcement, thank you for reading. It was a lot of thought went into like writing it and then my thought process of what I need to do from this point on. What if Kaya is a product of art of Kemia, like a perfect being that doesn't have that star shape in the neck? The star is more akin to Reindoder's creation. Rather than being like a Conrian... Rather than being like a product of a creation. Wait, what? Albedo is a product of creation because of the star. I think Kaya is just a normal Conrian. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. Nude calendars when? Of me? What, you're making me make an OnlyFans? What the fuck? What? Alright. But before we do anything... Daily time! Yo! Time to stall my ass off. No, it won't be too long. I don't have that much resin. I played a little bit earlier today. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. By the way, thank you guys all for the subs and the memberships. Appreciate it. Tomorrow, by the way, I will be streaming on Twitch. Particularly, I will start the Windbloom tomorrow. I was going to plan on doing all the lore stuff on YouTube, but the thing is, Windbloom is like, how do you put it? It's time gated. So I realize I can't like do multiple streams of the same thing on YouTube because I have other things to do. Does that make sense? If you guys are interested in the Windbloom stuff that I'll be playing through, follow me on Twitch. Because that's like more of like a daily basis rather than like I can get everything done in one sitting like the Archon quest. It's a little bit different.
Ready for anything.
Because it starts tomorrow if I'm right on that, right? Windbloom starts tomorrow. Sup, Island? Just got off class. Welcome in. Hello, Gerard. What if Kaya is King Ermin's vessel? Like the Fatui base their mechanisms in Conrio, right? That's an interesting idea. It does? Okay, yeah, it starts tomorrow. Who did you pull for? Nobody? Nobody? I'm saving all my Primo gems. Dun, dun, dun. How many of you started Windbloom because you live in the different time zones? Did it start for some other time zones? Just out of curiosity. Can I pull for Baiju? Nah. Where am I going with this quest? It just started for me. Hey, let's go. I might be playing it tomorrow. So you guys got like a little head start. If you're in the other servers. You got pulled for Kave? I'll tell you what, chat. I'll tell you exactly what I'm thinking. Dia, I'm not gonna pull. Kave, I'm not gonna pull. Baiju, I'm not gonna pull. There is a very simple reason for this. What patch number is this? 3.5? So 3.6 is Nahida. 3.7 is Summer Isles. Probably new outfits. However, the patch after that and after that, it's very close to Fontaine. So I'm saving for Fosalore. Dun, 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 dun. Who's a sinner? We'll get to it. We'll get to it. I know everybody's antsy, and I know everybody's very interested in these topics, and I don't blame you for it. Thank you for being interested. But patience. I am what you call a streamer. Basically, I need to stall sometimes. Don't yell at me. It's just the meta. It's just don't yell at me. I know I can do this like real fast for you if you really wish, but I'm a streamer. Please don't yell at me. Sometimes. Motherfucker. What do you mean? Motherfucker.
That's close enough. New punching bag.
Gotcha.
Following orders. Feeling lucky today.
Quietly now. My apologies.
You want this?
But wait, there's more. What if the Conrians were a bloodline of gold ancestors? I think you have a... Personally, I think your order is backwards. I think gold... Oh, sorry, you said god. What if Conrians were a bloodline of god descenders? Sorry, I misread that. And this god descender was the voice we heard. I think you're more closer than I give you credit for, actually. I think you're more closer than I initially gave you credit for. I lost a 50-50 on Jean, and now I have guaranteed. I'm pulling for Nahida, good or not.
Sunshine.
If you want Nahida,
Where shall we go for a walk?
you could fill the time afterwards instead of stalling at the start. Just a thought. I will consider it. However, I shan't. I shan't. Because if I don't do this now, I'm gonna forget later. I'm honestly just gonna forget later. It's not even a joke. I forget all the time. Because after all the discussion and stuff, I get like so tired.
Sakura swirl.
But wait, there's more. Oh. Bro, come on. Chat! For those of you who are impatient, listen. If anything, I did a lot of research and work. I deserve the stalling time. Alright? I'm just gonna say it. I deserve the stalling time. If you don't like it, well, that's too bad, I guess. Givaldo, welcome in. Hello. Random, why do you think the Geo Serpent Knight didn't make an appearance? I think they might come next patch. That might be possible. That's what I was thinking yesterday. I'm like, that's kind of weird. Neto, hello. Yeah, and besides, I could start right away, but the thing is, people often like don't get notifications, and they're kind of sad if they miss out like the beginning portions of like our talk and stuff. So it gives people time to like filter in. That's one of the main reasons, to be honest. One of my 3 a.m. crack theory was basically confirmed for me. It was strange. Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Add Astra. Thank you for completing to. Add Astra.
So, how do I begin this discussion today? Where do I start? So people are not confused. Because the notes that I have are scattered. We can just go top down and just talk about it. Some things you might think like, okay, that makes no sense, might be explained later in the stream. If we just go top down, because they are kind of scattered everywhere, the information I wrote. From the beginning of the quest. We could do that. Just pull up the video of the entire quest, just like fast forward and go to like the main points. That might be the thing. That might be good actually. Yeah. For your video footage, we're probably gonna pull up somebody that uploaded the entire whatchamacallit on YouTube. Ah! I need to use these. Why is Kaya wearing an eye patch though? Is he really hiding something? No, I don't think he's hiding anything. I think it's more symbolic. I read something interesting earlier in the wiki about that, and I was like, oh, that might be actually the reason. It's more like a symbolic thing. I think. Because remember last Windbloom? Was it the last Windbloom we got more information? We were at the top of the Knights of Favonius and we opened up the box and things and we got like a little bit of information about like the scar or whatever. That was the last Windbloom, right?
Stay close and you will live.
Hidden Strife. Yeah, I think that's what it was called. Will Island be streaming the Windbloom quest? Yes, I'll be doing it tomorrow. It's not out for me. I'll be doing it on Twitch tomorrow. And then the day after that as well, and the day after that.
Inazuma shines eternal. Illusion shattered.
Oh, yeah, I don't have a Dendro character. Fuck! I thought I had Nahida. Yeah, this is gonna take a while if I don't bring one. Okay. Do you think Kaya has a secret transformation like Child? Do I think so? No, but I think... Do I think so? No, but I think he has the capability of doing it in the future. He doesn't know it yet, but he has the capability of doing it in the future. Is my initial thoughts. He doesn't know about it, or he doesn't know how to do it yet. I think you're my favorite Genshin lore YouTuber. Thank you. Welcome in. Hello, appreciate that. Mine's Min Sleeve. She's really cool. I like her a lot.
There is no escape.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Stupid balls.
Things are about to get dicey.
Committed to memory.
Doing. Doing. Doing.
Illusion shattered.
Roll. Yeah. Committed to memory.
If you're looking for a time waster, do you mind recapping the last stream mission? I think what we're gonna do is pull up the entire quest and then go front to end and then discuss some of the things that I did find. As for the recap, the stream VOD is available. However, if you don't want to watch the stream, the entire quest is gonna get condensed into a smaller size and it's currently being worked on by our editor, and he will get that done as soon as possible for the condensed version of the Archon quest into a video. What the fuck? Island, please say hi to me. Hello, Larissa. How are you? What the heck? Welcome in.
The weather is lovely and warm.
34? Okay. We're good.
Things are about to start getting lively again.
We'll just wait till 40 and then do the domain or something later. Boom. Okay. Kura, hi hi. One step closer, hi hi. You guys really want my attention that badly? Dude, I'm just a fucking dude in the attic. What the hell? What do you mean? I am not used to this amount of attention. It's very strange for me. When I hang out with my friends, I sit in the corner of my room looking at my phone while they're talking about sports. This is kind of weird experience for me. Okay, we're good. Everything's good. Says the streamer. I'm serious, man. You guys see me in real life. I probably won't say anything for like 30 minutes until like I get a little bit comfortable. And then we start talking. Okay. So what I need to do that. Pull up Caribert quest. Okay. I think I might just mute the in-game. I'm not gonna maximize this because I have to look at like some of the notes and whatever, but we'll keep it like this. INTP, I have no idea what mine is. I did it before, but I forgot. When do you plan to do the story quest you started? Which one? Which one? Ahem. Okay, you guys ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Wait, let me make this better. Let me make this better for your viewing experience. Is that good? I hope. Yeah, I'm recording. But I'm not going to use this footage as a video. I'm just going to refer back to it later. But yes, I am recording. Shout outs to whoever this channel is for this footage. Fayato, thank you so much for uploading this so I can refer to it. Now, let's start, shall we? Will you ever do Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West content? Probably not. I'm gonna skip to some of this. You consider this kind of like a recap, but with my additional thoughts.
From another Outlander, the most obscure. He just wrote. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna just pick out the points that were very important to me.
Sorry.
Okay, Kaya.
Grandmaster positively
Okay.
to learn about the alcohol industry here. It's long been rumored that this fine establishment was where a certain the rumors say.
Because here's the thing. This quest is done very well because everything that is, not everything, but there are in these small dialogues, there are things that connects to the end of the quest, middle of the quest, and then what happened in the previous events, like quests and things, like Archon quest, and then what might be happening in the future. So everything is very interconnected, and that's why I gave this quest after my research a very high rating because of it. But we'll go through everything.
Potential collaboration. Now, nice.
Okay.
What makes you say that? Very sharp of you. Digging up my past wasn't exactly what I had in mind. Henry had only just taken me in. I'm curious about their roots.
From this dialogue, it just kind of makes it feel like he really doesn't know about his past.
On some level.
I don't think it's lying.
I stowed myself away amidst the cargo.
He was just very interested.
Before I knew it, my adoptive father was dragging me back.
Larissa, you really want my attention so bad. I appreciate it, but holy shit. Island, please. I said this like 30 times. My birthday is on Monday. You made my day to saying hi. Thank you so much. Happy birthday. I hope you feel happy. No worries.
Back home by the year. It was a short-lived adventure. Sorry I don't have a more thrilling story for you. That in a book when I was young. My life had my father. But then I began to wonder. Maybe my father left me in the peaceful land of Mondstadt for no other reason than simply to give me...
You see? it's not like something huge, but think about this context for a second. But then I began to wonder, maybe my father left me a peaceful land in Mondstadt for no reason other than simply giving me a happier life. Now, it's not directly related, but it's almost like as if this was the foreshadowing of the relationship between Clothar and Caribert. Do you guys know what I'm saying? It's the connection between father and son, and they just wanted to do the best for each other or for their offspring. But I'm not saying that they're directly connected. It's more like a foreshadowing that they planted the seeds throughout what's to come throughout the quest. And I thought that was very intriguing.
Me a happier life. A happy life sounds good to me, of course, even if it means being cut off from certain things. This is obviously all speculation. Simply put, I'm afraid that I'm not particularly in the know on this topic.
I don't think Kaya is Caribert. No.
Is probably the only link to Conria.
And then here, the name pops up, right? Which will be important later.
That I have left.
One death afternoon, please, boss.
Daisy shows up.
What do you know about the significance of that name, Albury?
Ah, you've decided to join us. I was wondering how long you planned on listening in. I believe I've seen you before in Mondstadt.
Albury, descendant of the Abyss Order's founder.
Descendant of the Abyss Order's founder. Which is very intriguing. Because here's the situation. We've talked about this yesterday, right, chat? About where Kaya is, like how it's related to Clothar. But my thought was, you know how later in the story we find the bodies underneath the thingy? Underneath the ground or whatever? And I am assuming the body of the male is Clothar, right? The traveler assumed the same thing. And judging from the fact that the body was holding a scarf, which was like taken off by Caribert during the quest, that means that the scarf was now with probably Clothar picked it up, right? And he had it, and then he was ended up being buried in that place. Now, the whole point is, what does this mean for Kaya and his relation to Clothar? Because after Clothar established the Abyss Order, I don't think he had like another offspring. And he eventually ended up dying. So if Kaya is related to Clothar, it's likely before the Abyss Order's creation and before like the lineage is what I'm saying. I'm not saying Kaya is the son of Clothar. I'm saying the lineage line of Clothar. There's two branches, right? Before the destruction of Conria and then after the creation of Abyss Order. There's probably a family line that descended from Clothar before the destruction of Conria, and then that lineage went all the way down to Kaya with the same last name. Right? I'm gonna keep 100%. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah. So I don't think Kaya is a direct son of Clothar that happened after the Abyss Order. I think it was before in Conria. The descender during the time of Conria that descended down.
Huh?
What?
Like great-great-grandpa? Yeah. But before the destruction. Before Clothar established the Abyss Order.
I take it that you weren't aware of this until now, Kaya. Or you wouldn't have been so forthcoming with your surname.
Oh my. That's quite a lot of baggage for a surname, isn't it? Though I must say, it does confirm an old suspicion of mine. I suppose that was why my father left me in Mondstadt after all.
Yeah, I don't see a Clothar being the person that would leave Kaya in Mondstadt, judging from the fact that after creating the Abyss Order, Clothar hates the Seven. No? It just doesn't make sense to me that Kaya is the son that was born after Clothar established the Abyss Order, like a direct son either. That doesn't make any sense. Why would Clothar leave if Kaya was somehow super like old and it was Caribert? Why would Clothar leave Kaya in Mondstadt when Clothar is notorious for hating the Seven and anything to do with the overworld after creating the Abyss Order, right? Have you read Mona's yeah, I read it and I'm like, I don't know if it has much value because we're going off of this quest and what we know from this quest. So it's like I think it has value for what's gonna happen to Kaya in the future. It's probably more foreshadowing than a direct hint, if that makes sense. Maybe Kaya is the grandson of Clothar. Hold on. I think a lot of people are very curious about this. So let me bust this out. Okay. Here's the deal. Kulothar. How the hell do you spell his name? Har. Right? We know that there's an illegitimate son. And that is Caribert, right? Now, we know also that there's two timelines of Clothar. One was before Cataclysm. And then one was after. And that is the Abyss Order. Founding of the Abyss Order, right? Oh. Mistakes. Okay. Right? After and before. Illegitimate son happened before Cataclysm. But it's not like this being Kaya again makes no sense because how first of all, I don't think Kaya is immortal. Because it's like a descendant that was born after the Cataclysm. Caribert is technically immortal, right? That's the idea. They like he turned into Hilichurl, but he was already born before the Cataclysm. I don't think Kaya is immortal because we've seen him age through Diluc's like past. So that means Clothar had like descendants before the Cataclysm that trickled down, and then later all this shit is probably Kaya. Right? He also has a pure-blood eye. Yes. Here's the thing. Later in the quest, they describe that the pure-blooded Conrians were cursed, right? So you might argue that Kaya is also cursed with this immortality. But if we're going with the idea that Kaya is immortal, it makes no sense because the Dilucs like grow up together. Also, the fact that even though Kaya is pure-blooded Conrian, what did you say? If he was born after, he wouldn't be afflicted with the curse. with the curse. Oh. Kiara, thank you for the $10 super chat. Do you think the mystery voice is Piero and maybe it's a royal mage we haven't met from Kingdom of Kanya? We'll get to that. Thank you for the super chat. We'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that. It's non-hereditary? Yeah, I don't think it's hereditary. Immortal doesn't mean you won't age. Well, technically that's true. But I just don't think... It just makes no sense. It just... That's so... It's too obvious, as I said already. This being Kaya... It makes no sense. And there's another reason why I say it makes no sense. Because there's something else in the story, in the Archon quest, that has a better explanation about what happened to Caribert. And we'll get to that. But yeah, again, everything that I'm saying right now, it will begin to make sense as I explain everything later in the stream, okay? So you gotta be a little bit patient with me because if I do this for every little detail that we talk about, this is gonna be like an 8-hour stream. Right? Are we good? Because I will let you know right now. I think there's another possibility of what happened to Caribert that has nothing to do with Kaya. That makes more sense to me from the information. So let's move on for now.
I'm surprised that you take me at my word without the faintest hint of skepticism.
Well, perhaps what you told me just happens to answer some questions I carry in my memories. And in any case, I recognize your eyes. You're a pure-blood Conrian, aren't you?
If you've already let go of your ties to the past, then keep it that way.
I don't think, dude, I have zero suspicion about Kaya and how suspicious he is, like, as a spy. Because it seems like he really doesn't give a shit. He just wants to know what happened in the past. And right now, the suspicious thing that he's doing it might be just because he wants to uncover like his past, but he doesn't really give a shit. And on the other side of the note, Kaya randomly becoming like a evil entity out of nowhere, I don't think that bodes well for the reception that it's gonna get. Just on like a public side of view, it's like you're telling me Kaya was the evil one after all, and we're gonna have to kill him. I don't think that plot line is like actually that interesting. And it's just like, what the fuck, you know what I mean?
You're not involved with the Abyss Order in any way, are you?
I just think that Kaya, whatever's gonna happen in the future, is gonna relate to his origin of Kanria, and then he's gonna have to make a choice. I think that's the extent. Yeah, considering Mona's dialogue, I think the Kaya's future is just hinged on his connection to the past of Kanria, and he's just gonna have to make a choice.
Hey, hold on now. This conversation has taken a rather sudden turn for the deadly serious. And I'm afraid that as someone from Mondstadt, I'm not accustomed to this sort of atmosphere. So what if I know my ancestry? Do I strike you as the type who would be bound by that kind of thing? Relax. I'll be just as delighted to hunt down the Abyss Order tomorrow as I have always been.
See? See? I think he's being honest. I might be wrong, but I honestly, if I were to give it a percentage, I'll give it like, okay, 75%, I think he's chill. 25% is kind of sus, but that's probably because of his connection to Kanria, because of his lineage. That's about it.
Either way, looks like we're out of time. Let me buy you.
Jump
Okay, let's
conclude,
skip
I suspect.
skip here.
Yeah, the Abyss Order's evil.
I mean, there is a succession of sorts.
Oh, so if
To jump to conclusions. But can a person truly be unaffected by their ancestry? This remains to be seen. Well, I suspect that they call your sister their princess, precisely because there is a succession of sorts.
Succession of sorts. This is very important. I'm gonna write this down. Because this is gonna get explained later. Okay.
Oh, so
Do you remember that name?
Loom of Fate!
a house over there. What? There. For it? That's respond. We just.
So, as we've already established,
That means.
let's go skip to the portion.
Just an noises outside our adversary.
Wow.
Totally be a while. Missions are
Of-
a little
There's a fireplace over
Us going to sleep, right?
really hot, but be fine. I don't know if it's a. Being sky.
And this where it all starts. Right, chat? This is where it all begins. Spoiler alert, from this point on, we're actually reliving the memories of our Abyss sibling. 500 years ago. Because if you guys don't know why, it's because the ley line in this area has been like tampered with, and it's inflicting like us to be able to recall the connection with our siblings' memory in this location, because they were here in this exact location like 400 or 500 years ago. That's why this stream is happening. It's not like random.
Hey, time to wake up. The sun has risen.
Now, this is where things get very interesting. Because as I already mentioned, this is the memory of the Abyss sibling. That means when the Abyss sibling got here, they were traveling with Dainsleif, right? And then eventually, he goes off into the woods. From this point on, this is the Abyss sibling's memory. So that means at this point in Sumeru, it's obvious that they were traveling with Dainsleif.
Begone. Place is not
And then this is Clothar. Now,
what can you. This place.
that's very important. Keep in
You
mind.
must look like a. So don't you.
That's why, honestly, out of nowhere, the Hilichurl is now here. That makes sense. Now this is a memory. We went back for 500 years. And the Hilichurl is obviously Caribert.
And you are correct. I was once Conrian. Oh, 7 or 9. Mentality. Full of Conrian once. Everything. The agony of the cataclysm itself can do is the single bloodline. We're welcomed as our fellow citizens.
So here he explains something very interesting. There's purebreds, Conrian, pure-blooded Conrians, that were inflicted with immortality. And then there are humans that are not pure-blooded Conrians that came to Conria that turned into Hilichurls. right? They're two different things. The reason why Caribert was turned into Hilichurl is because obviously Caribert's bloodline is mixed with Conrian and that lady from Mondstadt we don't know the name of. So Caribert turning into Hilichurl it makes sense in terms of the lore of what this guy's explaining. And then it gets deeper later.
Any who forsook the gods and came to Conria were welcomed as our fellow citizens.
And then interesting thing to note, Kaya apparently is pure blooded Conrian, because apparently after the cataclysm, it seems like we're assuming there was no mixture of like their heritage, and it was just purely from Conria, the descendants of Conria. That's why he has the eyes.
When the cataclysm came, we pure-blood Conrians were declared the greater sinners.
This is very important. Greater sinners.
Upon us the gods placed the curse. Other gods were punished with the curse. My
Illegitimate son.
I was because I once had everything I could wish for.
So Kaya is born after the cataclysm. It's like, it's the same situation. If I were to give you like a personal opinion about this, it's Eula's situation as well. Nothing to do with the curse. It's just if you think of it that way, it's very simple. She's like the bloodline of the what's it called? Lawrence clan. It's just after hundreds of years, thousands of years, she's still there.
And now that I have lost almost everything, the little that
I'm just assuming that the curse only applied to people that were existing at the time, and the bloodline doesn't. Like, it's not hereditary.
remains, I see with new clarity. If nothing else, at least I still have.
Kaya is mixed. I don't think he's mixed at all, because when he was sent to Mondstadt, he was sent from Conria. He just doesn't remember. But like, if he was in Conria, it's very possible that he wasn't mixed at all. Just because of the eyes, they explain in this Archon quest that if you have the eyes, you're pure-blooded. If we're going with that, then Kaya's not mixed, and it makes sense because he was in Conria until his dad took him to Mondstadt.
Caribert? Ah, yes, that reminds me. I only returned here to check on Caribert, but I do have other things I wish to do. You may come with me, if you're so here. It's because clarity of mind. Hope that this medicine is imbued with the power of Sumerian cases of Unreal. I was leaving.
Okay, we'll skip this.
Not to have pity upon a young.
Okay. From here, let's go discuss some other things. Well, actually, you know what the best thing to do is just skip through this and we'll come back. Let's just go to the most important part of all this. Right here.
Go in here. Oh, and it appears. It's concealed.
They're worshipping. We'll get to that why. Here is what's probably the most interesting thing. Right here. Okay?
All humans, fate has not granted you the right to enter this place.
This Abyss Herald. But no, he doesn't look like someone from the Abyss Order. Judging from the timeline, again, we're still in the memory of the Abyss sibling before they joined the Abyss Order, right? This Abyss Herald clearly existed before the founding of the Abyss Order. So, what that means is, now mind you, this is still after the Cataclysm. You guys understand that timeline, right? This meeting between the Traveler sibling and Clothar is after the Cataclysm, but before the creation of the Abyss Order, right? So what happened after the Cataclysm resulted in the creation of the Abyss Heralds. This is very important because that means that Abyss Herald's power, whatever beings that turn into the Abyss Herald, occurred because of what happened in the Cataclysm, during the Cataclysm, the destruction of Conria. What's very important about this is after we beat him, this is the most suspicious dialogue. Listen to this.
He was a perfect being. I mean, he had the most wondrous aura, a perilous yet beautiful power. Oh, truly mesmerizing.
This guy's freaking out about this herald. clearly he's never seen it. But whatever this being is, he's viewing this Abyss Herald as something that is like the most perfect being ever. Right? Keep that in mind, because what happens is later he would go talk to the crazy diamond thingy and then go back to Caribert. And then you can notice his demeanor changes very strangely later.
And yet, you...
And this is also important. Yet you were able to defeat him. Your strength is greater than I imagine. Hee hee.
To defeat, find myself.
The voice. We're just gonna skip through this real quick because I will come back to
When I
every
saw the
detail.
thing, my heart was...
Okay.
I have a strange feeling that what just happened was meant... Yes.
And then
Place...
look at this. Caribert is talking now. Right? Sam, thank you for the raid. Hello everyone, welcome in. Caribert is talking now. Oh god, I just need to get through this and then we can start talking about all the intricate details. I'm just pointing out the important points to keep in mind before we get down to like all the details, okay? He's talking now. Keep that in mind.
No, protecting...
And he's only talking because of the power that is connected to the sinner. That purple thing, right? Because that pill was now imbued with that power, right? And now we gave it to Caribert and he's talking.
You... So how could you... Oh, whatever. I can't believe this is... Seven was a waste of time like that. This appeared to...
And then we go back. I don't know why this... I don't know why it just randomly disappeared. I was trying to figure out why it randomly disappeared. I don't know why, but we don't have any information on why it disappeared, but...
Can't have been an... It was not...
I couldn't even come up with a theory about it either.
Where has he gone?
He's gone.
We haven't seen you around here.
This is the past memory. We can skip through this. And then this happens. Now, pay attention. Remember what I said in the beginning with Kaya. His idea of son and father. Through this whole quest, Clothar was just so in agony and despair because of his son. Right? Here, Caribert seemingly explodes. You could argue that he might have been dead. But what's weird is the following dialogue.
I see. I understand now. Finally, it all makes sense.
What makes sense, right?
Ah, traveler, you're awake. Finally, we can rejoice together.
He is not fazed or sad or anything. You see that? His demeanor? If your son literally died just now, exploded, why is he not sad?
Wait, no. Why am I still calling you traveler? Oh, I have known your true identity for some time now. I suspected it was you from the beginning.
The only... This might sound like a copium idea, but I will explain everything. Trust me, chat. He's unfazed, and he seemingly understood something that is crucial and very true. Something. The only explanation is that Caribert, from the Hilichurl taking the mask off, is because of this dialogue. He is in awe of this perfectionism of the Herald. My only thought was, is there a possibility that Caribert actually turned into the Abyss Herald? Because at that point, it's like something that he wants or something that he would like. But then again, this might sound like a copium. Trust me. These are the things that I've uncovered. Let's pause there for now and go down the list. You might be surprised. Okay? The whole idea is, let's see. Oh, where do we begin? Okay, what happened to Caribert? Okay. The thing is, Abyss Heralds, right? Abyss Heralds, they existed after the Cataclysm. The Abyss Heralds also are beings that are able to speak, have consciousness. Can you enlarge the text? Yeah, give me a second. The Abyss Heralds are conscious now. And if you recall going all the way back to We Will Be Reunited quest, there's a little thing called the Abyssal Gospel. Who is familiar with what I'm talking about? If I can find it. Hold on. I'll make this bigger. Okay. In the quest We Will Be Reunited, there's a domain. And all it was, if we go back, it was trying to figure out if there was... We're chasing the Abyss Herald. That was the whole outline of it. We're chasing the Abyss Herald. But the domain that we entered, this is what it says in the domain. The Abyss traces have led you back here. Will the Abyss Herald rear his head and let you witness its transformation brought upon by the Abyssal Gospel? Now, what is the Abyssal Gospel? The Abyssal Gospel from this quest is relating to this.
Oh dear.
To this. It's basically... There's a reason why I believe these Hilichurls are worshipping this being. And I believe it's a subconscious thing. I think they explain in the quest as well that even Clothar was doing it subconsciously. The aura of whatever this being is imbuing power into whatever is worshipping. So that pill that we got that was imbued by the power of this thing was given to Caribert, which gave Caribert consciousness and the ability for speech. Basically, it's semi-evolved. This sounds like a long shot, but really think about the context here, because we already discussed there's purebreds and half-breds of Conrian blood. Purebreds retain their physical form as a human. They're just cursed with immortality. Half-breds turn into Hilichurls. But if Hilichurls are imbued with the power of the Abyssal Gospel, then they have the ability to possibly like evolve into something else. Because they're going from like this Hilichurl that doesn't know how to speak into imbued with this power of consciousness and ability to speak. And then when they take their mask off, it's like, what's the word for it, chat? It's like shedding the past or whatever, like letting go, that kind of idea. They basically evolve. And the thing is, why this is so interesting is because the Abyss Lectors and Abyss Heralds, they always talk so highly about this being, this gospel, this Abyss power, and they revere it. Metamorphosis, thank you. These Hilichurls right here, they're revering it. This gives them the power of the Abyss, and then once they break through that chain by taking their mask off, they go through the metamorphosis of like Abyss Heralds. Now, you might think this is insane, but if we figure out what this thing is, it might give you more of a clue. So let's go to this thing. What the hell is this thing? Chat, without a doubt, we talked about this yesterday. This, okay, how do I phrase this without like stepping on people's toes? I am not trying to be insensitive about gender, But is it fair for me to say that this voice is a dude? I'm not trying to be insensitive about it, but is it fair for me to say this is a dude's voice? That means this is not quote unquote the Night Mother. Because the Night Mother, if you see my previous video, I'm assuming the Night Mother is the Moon Canon, which should be female, that relates to other 4 entities of Senet, Arya, Celes, and Kennen. Like how the Sustainer is also female, Paimon's also female, the Nahida, the elves are also female, depicted as females, and then Arya is probably God of Time, which is also female. So the Night Mother is not. I don't think this is the voice, if that theory is true. So who is this? Is my question. We already talked about this yesterday. There are a couple there's a couple possibilities, right? There's the primordial one. There's a second who came. And was there somebody? King Destrit? There were a lot of possibilities, right? But the biggest clue of who this might be comes at the end of this quest.
Information and memories flow within the ley lines. What did you...
At the very end of this quest.
Otherwise.
Are you alright? You having trouble? What the?
We tell Dainsleif about what happened in our memories,
So
right?
you saw her memories from centuries ago, through your own eyes. It all but defies belief. Still, as I'd suspected, the notion of the Loom of Fate did indeed
We'll go to the Loom of Faith in a little
rear
bit.
its head during that time. And it seems closely connected to Clotar Alberich's son, Caribert, and what happened to him. And yet your sister never breathed a word of this incident to me. I wonder. Clearly, this series of events sparked a long period of deep contemplation.
Field? What?
Okay, we'll skip through all
You're
this.
just gonna leave?
This!
Jesus. We should part ways is far too many
This!
questions. I need time to think, and to search my memories for some missing pieces. We should part ways here.
We should part ways here, right? This was the annoying part.
Huh? You're...
Paimon then asked, "You're leaving?"
Why?
And then she asks,
You know?
It's better that we split up for now.
Dainsleif says this line. I think that he might have seen you, right? This being, that purple gem or whatever, it cannot be the primordial one. Because Dainsleif has no connection with the primordial one. The whole point is when he says he might have seen you, watch, I'll continue with this.
I think that he might have seen you.
Who's he?
Yeah.
That voice?
I have my suspicions as to his identity.
He has suspicions of who it could be. But he has to confirm something. That means Dainsleif might know exactly who this might be. It cannot be some beings that predates Dainsleif's existence in Conria. Does that make sense? If it can be primordial one. It can be the second who came. It could be King Destrit. But they are way past Dainsleif's time. The only explanation of who this could be is King Ermin. Not even Alice. Because Alice is obviously a female voice. The only explanation from the information we have now is King Ermin. Because just the timeline of things, it doesn't make sense. How would Dainsleif know the existence of King Destrit? How would he know the existence of Primordial One or second who came? And it's not Alice, because Alice and Ermin are two different beings. Does this relate to the statuettes? Yes! So if we talk about King Ermin, right? Here's the situation. I have some of these information already kind of like copied here. Okay, let's bring this up. And go back to the dialogue of this gem thingy.
Perfect. For fear of
Listen to this dialogue, chat. I'll slow it down.
Then
Listen to this dialogue.
I see.
Who is King Ermin? I'll explain.
And dead. I think we've made it to the end.
Listen carefully of how it's speaking and the context behind its communication. Yeah, it's the Conrian king. Okay. Listen to this.
Oh, dear creature, why do you bow down? For fear of the unknown, or for a power that you covet?
Pay attention to how it's talking.
Oh, dear creature, why do you bow down? For I am no god, I am but a sinner.
I am no god, I am a sinner. That's very important.
You are like a flower, born in sin, yet pure, spotless. I know your fate well. You need no longer hold back your resentment, nor accept the countless lies.
See? If this is King Ermin, who is the king of Conria who died, and the instigator of the whole context behind the power of Abyss, he knows the power of the Seven and how it is, quote unquote, predetermined fate. And the whole thing about power of the Abyss is to break that chain of fate, right?
Go forth, become a transcendent one. Rise beyond the fate bestowed upon you. And I shall shed a tear at the end of time, as I gaze back upon your life.
Let me go over what just happened. What did you say? Erico, thank you for the $5 super chat. Didn't the Abyss Order just figured out about the era predating gods in Enkanomiya? Therefore, they didn't have any idea who the primordial one, the second one came is when they were still in Conria. That's a good point. Hey, Eddie-kun. That's a great point. There's no way that Dainsleif would have known about the primordial one or the second who came. Because remember in the chasm? No, it wasn't in the chasm. It was in the Enkanomiya. The whole thing about Enjo was they're trying to figure out the predating existence of gods. That would mean that Dainsleif 500 years ago probably had no idea of their existence. And that's what Enjo and the Abyss Order is trying to uncover now of their previous godly existence. From the book Sun and Moon, right? So with that in mind, if we go back to the ending, Dainsleif has a suspicion. Dainsleif has a suspicion who this could be. That means this is somebody that Dainsleif knows, if he has a suspicion. The only person that all these beings, Hilichurls and humans, that would bow down under the context of the abyssal power is King Ermin, who basically instigated everything. The reason why I say instigated everything is because of this. Watch. So, let's go to, I'm going to keep this up. Let's bring up King Ermin. And let's say what it says. Ermin. The whole idea is that little is known about Ermin besides the fact that he had one eye. After his strength failed, quotes, after his strength failed, the Alberic clan took over mantle. The question is, what does this mean? After his strength failed. I had a gut feeling that he was tampering with the idea of Abyss. You guys know when I say the power of the Abyss is basically technically one of the same with the forbidden knowledge, right? because the forbidden knowledge was hinted with King Deshret, and that was like power that should not exist in this world under the guise of the dominion of gods. And if the abyssal power is the same, that means if King Ermin was trying to fuck with the forbidden knowledge, the corruption started occurring here in Conria. And maybe this is a little bit of a copium, but it's possible under that context, the entire corruption that was occurring with the forbidden knowledge during King Deshret's era was repeating in Conria. And Ermin was afflicted with, what's it called? The thingy Kale had. The thingy. Elazar. Yes, thank you. King Ermin might have been afflicted with something similar to Elazar if we're understanding that the power of the abyss is very similar to the forbidden knowledge that people shouldn't know about. This is a connection between a timeline that existed previously, thousands of years ago, that's repeating itself in Conria. The more you explain this, the less I think it's Ermin. Maybe I'm not doing a good job to explaining this. But I might be able to change your mind. This voice, remember how it was talking? If you go to the statuettes, this is the depiction of King Ermin. One eye. It's just implied that this is King Ermin's depiction. I never knew what this was until I took a closer look at it today. And I was just like, oh, that is the depiction of King Ermin. Because these items drop by the Abyss Lectors and Heralds. And they worship this entity that is possibly this being right here. Because of the one eye and situation, right? But if you go down to the description of this, a one-eye carving that emanates an ominous energy with no indication of what it's made of. As you gaze upon this idol, you can almost hear a strange, comforting whisper. You can almost hear a strange, comforting whisper. With that said, if you go back, when the aura is entered into like the beings that is worshipping it, here, I'll show you what happens with this guy. And then this enters him, right? This enters him. He doesn't hear the voice, but it enters it. And then see what happens.
What just happened? When I saw that thing, my
heart
was
was instantly at peace.
I was overcome by a sense of awe or joy, perhaps.
What did you say?
Mind you, before that happened, Clothar was super stressed about his son. But for some reason, when this entered him, he felt comfort. So what that means is all the Hilichurls are basically doing the same thing. They're struggling with the inner conflict, but they're seeking comfort, and they're attracted to this aura. Does that make sense? Claudia, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think the architecture is from primordial civilization, and why is it chained up like a prison? Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I think it's more connected to Enkanomiya. Maybe the ancient civilization. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it might be. He was enticing his people to accept the abyssal power. Yes. You see how this all comes together like this? And then let's continue reading here. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, Claudia. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. See, my child, all that lies under the throne of heaven shall be destroyed by an upheaval. The eternal peace of pitch dark void shall embrace us all. I'm reading this. I'm like, okay, this is clearly, I'm assuming clearly spoken by King Ermin. And if everybody is finding comfort and worshipping this entity, this voice is probably King Ermin, which makes sense because King Ermin is the only person that Dainsleif has direct affiliation with out of the nominees that we had. Primordial one doesn't make sense. Second Who Came doesn't make sense. Ken Deshret doesn't make sense because Dainsleif don't know them. But if what he suspects is true, the only person that makes sense that encompasses everything together is King Ermin. Listen to Ida's voice line after going to hut. Sure.
I sinned. Caribert. Oh, thank goodness. He's still okay. I have a strange feeling that what just happened was meant to be. For this to happen, right at the moment when I was dreading worshipping at a statue of the Seven, it's as if fate was calling to me.
This is so intriguing. You know why? Let's go talk about Loom of Fate. With all this thing contextualized, Loom of Fate basically means reweaving the fate. Shedding yourself from the dominion of gods. The predetermined fate. Right? One more line.
You say that I bowed before that thing, so perhaps it might be just as effective. I have to try. No matter what, you said it yourself. I have to exhaust all options.
Yes, and then this is given to Caribert and he starts talking.
Caribert?
This is so important because you know how at the end of this quest or at the end of this section, what's his name? Clothar mentions that Caribert is quote unquote like the starting point or the answer of Loom of Fate. Remember that? What does that mean? It means if Loom of Fate is described within the story of Caribert, that means Caribert, everything that's revolving around what just happened in this quest is the Loom of Fate. To be less confusing, my understanding is Loom of Fate is shedding away from the dominion of the celestial gods like Archons, and then reweaving your own fate using the power of the abyss. Like becoming something else. Evolving. The reason why this is important, we already talked about why the possibility that when Caribert takes off the mask, he evolves. This instance is very akin to the description of the Abyssal Gospel, right? And where do we know that it's somewhat very similar to the Abyssal Gospel? It's, of course, Child and his transformation. Go away. Okay, it broke. What's it called, chat? The Abyssal Transformation? Foul Legacy, thank you. Foul Legacy. Now, Child is not purebred Conrian. Child doesn't even have anything to do with Conrian bloodline. You see where I'm going with this? If Child was pure-blooded Conrian, this abyssal transformation cannot happen. Because they retain their human form. But because Child's not from Conria, he has this ability. And he was taught by Skirk, which was in the Abyss. And Abyss through probably, most likely, in my opinion, the Abyssal Gospel. the reason why I bring all this up is because the thing that we mentioned, Child says, I think it's one of its dialogues. Oh, where was it? Child says that this foul legacy transformation, it was as if he was being called in from the abyss because of his ambition of fighting a lot. Like he's got this like what's the word I'm looking for? Hold on. Did I have a note for this? Bloodlust, thank you. His bloodlust. And that essentially, the power of the abyss has drawn him into the abyss. And that's why he learned this, right? The foul legacy transformation. This happening occurred a couple times before. And that's particularly with the power of the abyss. If we go back to King Ermin, the reason why he just fucked everything up is probably because this power of the abyss its temptation has drawn him into it, to the forbidden knowledge. This also happens with Rheindoder. This also happens with Rheindoder. So with all that in mind, that was like, this is like a so far all the things that we discussed, it's like a precursor. Now let's go through everything. Now let's go through the notes, shall we? Everything we talked about is a precursor. Hopefully with that in that context, everything that I'm about to explain will make more sense to you. So, who is a sinner? We've already established the idea that Primordial 1 might not be the case because of Daneslave. Scarlet King, Second Who Came, probably not the case because of Daneslave's direct correlation. Somebody that Daneslave might know, right? The possibility, originally, this was my possible candidates. I suspected King Ermin, right? I suspected King Ermin. And then I suspected Rheindoder. But obviously, without stepping on people's toes here, the voice is male. And we know that Rheindoder is technically... Albedo calls Rheindoder she, but in the game text file, Rheindoder is non-binary title, which is they. But if Albedo says she, then I'm going to take his word for it, right? You guys know what I mean? So with that in mind, the voice sounding like a male in that video, in this quest, I'm like, that probably can't be Rheindoder. Which makes sense because Rheindoder is simply a researcher from Conria. But if she's a researcher from Conria, it's funny because Albedo have seen Rheindoder, right? Like physically saw her. That would mean that most likely Rheindoder had a human form. Because if she was a Hilichurl, assuming, you know what happens to people that are not pureblood Conrians? They turn into Hilichurls. But Rheindoder, even after the Cataclysm, with Albedo seeing her, probably was human. That means Rheindoder herself was pure-blooded Conrian. You see? And then it says she's called a great sinner. That means anybody who was interconnected with the destruction of Conria and the Cataclysm, they're all sinners. But they're humans still with the idea of immortality curse. Which makes sense because you've always probably wondered, how old is Rheindoder? The reason why Rheindoder is still alive in this context is because she's also cursed because she was the sinner of pure-blooded Conrian descent. You see where I'm going with this? She's a pure-blooded Conrian. That means she retains her human form, does not turn into Hilichurl, but she also gets cursed with immortality. That's why Rhindaughter is still alive. But going back to all this, she is called a great sinner. And I'm assuming every Conrian, pure-blooded Conrian, are considered sinners. And that goes back to King Ermin, which is probably the sinner from the voice of the quest, right? The sinner as well in here. Why the fuck is Heavenly Principle is giving the immortality to their enemies? How old is Dainsleif again? Probably like 500 years old-ish. I'm wondering if this being the sinner is somehow based on the IRL devil, purification and curse. Probably is. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. Rhindaughter. You remember what happened with Rhindaughter with her connection to Albedo? This. After discovering the heart of Naberius with Albedo, she disappeared without a trace and tasks him to finding the true meaning of this world. Remember this? This heart of Naberius, we don't know what it is. But I can maybe speculate that now we do know what it is because of this quest. Because if you look up Heart of Naberius, it's just basically an artifact in the game. We don't have much information. But we do know that Naberius is a demon name. Which is kind of strange. Because here's where things get kind of finicky. If we look this up, Naberius, it says, speaking with a hoarse voice, also restores lost dignities and honors, probably relating to the Abyss and Conria. And the voice is kind of like reflecting perhaps this voice here. But here's what's weird. This is a demon name, Naberius. So that would mean it's a god, like a godly being. So it's kind of conflicting in a way because this voice says, I am no god, but I'm a sinner. Which is kind of strange, but if we continue with this, it says, this is from like basically here. Naberius makes a man amiable and cunning in the all arts, and specializes in rhetoric and procures loss of prelacies and dignities. He has a interesting voice, eloquent, amiable, and it speaks of the cycle of life, science, and evolution. He is said to possess a vast knowledge and able to enlighten any man or woman in the way of science, but it's rhetorically. So here's my question to you. Rhindaughter goes off on this crazy journey, leaving Albedo behind, because she encountered this heart of Naberius, which is also later described here. The heart of Naberius is, in Chinese, is heart of God, which is the same format of Gnosis. It's just heart of Naberius, heart of God. So like, and it having a demon name, it means it's like a godly being, right? Can we agree with that? That whoever this Naberius is suspected to be a god, and because of the demon name and because of the relation to like the way that is written, similar to Gnosis, Naberius is like a godly being. But strangely, the description matches the voice of the Archon quest. But if that's King Ermin, what? And it says, "I am not a god." Do you think they're related or not? It might not. It might not be connected. See, for I am no god, but I'm a sinner. I don't know if they're one of the same. The reason why I even bring this up is because Rhindaughter is considered a sinner. And then Ermin was also considered a sinner in this context. Maybe she's the queen. Oh, Heart of Naberius is like an overarching deity of forbidden knowledge and sin, and then King Ermin and instructs Rheindoter and everybody to like utilize that to harness this power of sin or abyss. I guess that makes sense, no? Maybe this Heart of Niberius sits above Ermin and Rheindoter. That's why Rheindoter was so ecstatic to finding this and just poof disappeared. That could be the case, actually. That could be the primordial evil. Yeah. Eric, thank you for the super chat.
What did you say?
Do you think the chains around the crystal represents the 6 cardinal sins of Tavad, since there are 6 chains around this? Oh.
Sure. Longer hold back.
How many chains are on this thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. And then what about the statue? One, two, three, four, five. That's 7. Is that 7? Hold on. Chat. How many is this? 1, 2, 3. What is this one in the back? Oh, I don't think that's to a statue, is it? Let me look up a better picture. There's a video. There's a video. Where's the video? What do you mean? Media. What the fuck? What the fuck? Just look in the game files. Yeah, I see 7, but I can't tell if that one in the back is connected to the statue or not. Okay, that quality is pretty difficult. What the hell? Okay. Thank you, Gosu Noob, for this video. Isn't it like in the beginning? Okay. We will be reunited. We will be reunited. Quest.
An eerie, lifeless, dark.
Let's get out of here, and fast! We should report back to Ganyu and Lun. Could it be the Grand Thief?
Man! Wait. I think I have a recording of this. Chat, give me 1 second. I think it's very possible that I have a recording of this. I'm pretty sure. Quest recording. Archon quest. We will be reunited. Part. Oh, good job, Island in the past. Well done, Island in the past. This file is labeled Alter Study. Get closer. Island! Get closer! Okay, bro. Okay, you're not giving me a good angle here, bro. I get the orb. I want to see the chain. Where are you going? Oh shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6, no? That's 6. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good job, Past Island. Well done. There's a 7th. I can't really tell. What are you doing, bro? There's 6, right? 3 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? It's 6. Oh my. Oh my. What does this mean? Oh my. So what does that mean then? Does that like reinforces the idea that this is the 6 cardinal sins that's chaining down the one that was like linked to it? And that it's, I don't know, this is King Ermin's potentially soul? Who knows? Yeah, it makes sense. He calls himself a sinner. Oh, today is a juicy day, no? What are the 6 cardinal sins? It's something we learned in Sumeru, right? There's 6 sins. Oops. Cardinal sins. It was from Sino, yeah. It was from Sino's lore. Here it is. 6 sins. The first is if you commit this, these are sins. First is committing to interfere with human evolution. Second is to tamper with life and death. Third is to delve beyond the universe. Fourth is to instigate the origin of words. I don't know what that means. Fifth is to revere gods without acts of devotion. Sixth is to attempt the forbidden and fear none. Attempt the forbidden. I feel like if we dig enough, all these things are linked to possible thing that King Ermin has done in the past, no? It's also similar to the Torii and a lot of Fatui Harbingers, yeah. This is juicy. Clothar did the 5th one. He did! Attempt the Forbidden, Fear None. Attempt the Forbidden is that book, maybe, with Clothar as well. I don't know if this applies. Beyond the universe, that's self-explanatory, the forbidden knowledge. Temper with life and death, obviously self-explanatory, because Rheindoter is able to create literally life and beings, right? From, like, nothing. And then interfere with human evolution, Helichurls, perhaps the Abyssal Herald. Maybe the 6 cardinal sins is linked to the Abyssal Gospel. It's just in the backward fashion. Like, to fully receive the blessing of the Abyssal Gospel, you need to commit all 6 cardinal sins. The Abyssal Gospel is forbidden. Yeah. True. Okay, we got some more information. Now let's continue. Let's move on from this. What is it called? Heart of Niberius. Maybe it is a being that sits above Rheindoter and King Ermin. Okay. Now here's a timeline. I just wrote this down because I thought it was very interesting. So the timeline is Conria falls, right? The cataclysm happens. But the power of, and then even when when Conria fell, the power of the Abyss was already there. With Rhine King Ermin, right? The power of the Abyss was already there. And the sinner is revered by the Hilichurls unconsciously, similar to how Clothar did it unconsciously in that video, right? Right? And then the timeline is that then Clothar establishes the Abyss Order because he was exposed to this abyssal power and sinner context. What else did I write? This abyss power is likely the same as the forbidden knowledge. Yeah, we talked about that. And this forbidden knowledge corrupts and tempts people, specifically someone like Child, and that is also relating to maybe the abyssal transformation and foul legacy that might be connected to each other. The Abyss Herald, we talked about this earlier. The Abyss Herald existed before the establishment of Abyss Order, right? That's something we've already figured out from this quest. That Abyss Herald existing was before the creation of the Abyss Order. So they pre-existed because after the fall of Conria. And all Clothar did was got exposed to the power of the Abyss and just formulated and established the Abyss Order. Okay. And Rhine is not royalty. She's just a researcher in Conria, probably pure blood. That's why she didn't transform, but she is able to live for a long time because of the curse of immortality. The Abyss Herald existed before the Conria, fall of Conria. Why did they have their symbol in their chest? Oh, that's a good point. Because I'm assuming maybe it's just because it's just depicting the outfit of Conria and what people wore at the time. Like, for instance, even Half-Bloods were probably wearing this outfit, no? In Conria, before everything went to shit. But the Half-Bloods were eventually, like, turned into Hilichurls or whatever. But maybe when they turn back, they kind of have that aesthetic. What does Hilichurls look like? Yeah, Conria already existed, and the power of the Abyss already existed. I don't know. They kind of look whack. They kind of look whack. I don't know. So if that's true that Hilichurls transfer into heralds, why is Danes turning into a herald by a curse? I don't think Danesafe is turning into a herald, no? Is that something that I missed? I don't know if I saw anywhere telling me something I read that Danesafe is turning into a herald. Yeah, he's just eroding. There you go. His memories are... Danesafe's situation is probably very similar to Clothar. Just mind is just going fucking insane. What about a Miss Magus then? That's a good question. If we consider Hilichurls, no, because the Abyss, the word Abyss is attached to it. Maybe there's a different level of transformation. Abyss mages aren't purebloods. How do we know that? I wonder. Regardless of them being purebloods. Yeah, they're not purebloods because they transform. If they're pure-blooded, they wouldn't transform. Right. But I wonder if Abyss mages are linked more to the Hilichurls or linked more to the power of the Abyss. Aren't the Abyss mages more linked to the Abyss power rather than Hilichurls? So it makes more sense if... Oh. Chat, call me crazy. Call me crazy. But what do we know so far about the Hilichurls? There's Laura Churls. There's Sammy Churls. Maybe the Abyss Mage is a transformed version of a Sammy Churl. And then that new new fucking abyss thingy that we see that we don't have information about, the big dude, is the transformation of the Laura Turtles. Yeah, this guy. So it's maybe someone like this Hilichurls turned into the Abyss Order. Because remember there are like instances in the world where like there was one footage in the Storm Terror's lair where the Hilichurls were still being like guided by the Abyss Mages in like a worshipping kind of situation. Do you guys know what I mean? There was this one like instance where there were a bunch of Hilichurls at this Storm Terror's lair and they're like worshipping this light or whatever, but the one in the middle that was guiding them was the Abyss Mage. Are they here? No. Okay. Do I have a footage for this too? Let me check. I might. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. So what are the Abyss Mages? Maybe the Abyss Mages are as simple as abyssal transformation that occurred to the Tamitros. This might feel like bullshit, but it makes sense, no?
This was unwise.
Hold on. This might answer everything. Oh, actually, it's easier if I just do this. Is there like a list of... Oh, here it is. This is all we got. Pretty sure Dane said heralds aren't and never were humans. No, he said that we shouldn't view them as humans. I remember that exactly. He said something along the lines of we shouldn't treat them like humans. And that piggybacks on the we will be reunited in the Chasm quest where Dainsleif really doesn't treat them like humans. So what he's implying is I don't see them as something that can turn back and I don't care. They're not human to me. I'm going to kill them all. And we know that Hilichurls were human at one point, right? Gotta go catch the rest of the stream later. Enjoy everyone. Thank you so much, Akko. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now it's Piero here. If he is the royal mage of Conria, surely he knows what the royal family did, including King Ermin. Probably. That's why probably the Fatui knows so fucking much. I wouldn't doubt it. I think that makes perfect sense. Okay, let's continue with this. Rhindora Great Sinner, Rhindora Gold. Apparently gold is title. It's just a title. I don't want to go over this. That's too complicated. Where did I write the Loom of Fate? Here. This is what I basically condensed down to in regards to Loom of Fate. This might sound simple, but from everything we discussed, I'm just gonna read it for you. This is what I wrote, like, just real quick. Loom of Fate equals reweaving their own fate equals true understanding of this world. Entities that transcend the power of the god's dominion, like the 7. This is the same idea that the Ozio and Upside Down statue will ultimately become. From the Defiled statue. And the reason why it makes sense is considering this is the power of the god, but the power of a god that this is a power that rivals a god, but it originates from the sinner and the technology of Conria, which is why they're trying to use the abyssal powers and the technology of Conria, which is the eye tiller, the first field tiller's eye or whatever. Does that all make sense? Dude, there's so much here. There's so... Okay. I think what I'm going to do... It's probably best at this point to have a little Q&A. That might just be better. Because what I wrote here is a bunch of scrambled everything. But I think everything that most of the thing that I wrote was already talked about. I kind of already explained it. But I'd rather do a Q&A so that you guys can, like, give me your thoughts and then add, or I can clarify some of the things that it's in my head, but I don't know how to put it into words. By the way, if you're confused with all this, more than likely this is all gonna turn into a video. So any thoughts, chat? Because I have a lot of information here, but I just don't know where to start. It's better if you just ask questions. Maybe the heralds and lectors are people that transcended with the power of Abyss. So Abyssal Gospel is something like Celestia, giving a vision to human, but it's within the power of the Abyss. I think you are very close to what I'm thinking, yeah. What about the fact that Clothar called the Abyss sibling the Abyss? Oh! Do you want to go over that little discussion that they had? That is undoubtedly very important. Before the whole mirror situation. Doesn't lore say that the Hilichurl already existed long ago before the fall of Conria? Yes. That's completely justified because the power of the Abyss equals forbidden knowledge. And that means the forbidden knowledge, the effect and curse of the Hilichurls predates Conria, which makes sense. The forbidden knowledge existed even before Conria's destruction or existence, going all the way back to King Deshret's era. And that curse is being inflicted on humans that are not purebred Conrians. That's why they're probably turning into Hilichurls. Now, Conria is a little bit different because they're purebreds, and for whatever reasons, the god decided to, instead of turning them into Hilichurls, they gave them Curse of Immortality because they're purebreds of Conria, which is like core place of the problematic situation. Craig, what's up? Who gave the Hilichurl curse? Celestia, Abyss? Celestia. It's probably Celestia. Yeah, it only makes that it's Celestia. Even the curse of Conria for immortality was probably by the gods of Celestia. The Abyss is just a power that caused all this, that instigated all this in Conria. But the power of the Abyss predates Conria's existence. It was already there because of the forbidden knowledge.
I asked you.
Aha!
Let's go through this. I had a lot to say about this, but I forgot. Let's refresh our memory.
Traveler, you're awake. Finally, we can rejoice together. Wait, no. Why am I still calling you Traveler? Oh, I have known your true identity for some time now.
This is very intriguing because this implies that ever since we started this dream or memory recollection of our abyss sibling, Ide or Clothar knew who we were, right? And he was just seeing if what he suspected of us was true or not through this entire quest, which is very funny because it was hinted earlier in the story when we went to the domain
Never noticed it before. Then
after we beat the Abyssal Heralds.
who was?
He had the most wonderful aura, truly mesmerizing. See? I thought, yo, maybe I'm coping, but I thought this was like going back in hindsight. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Look.
You were able to defeat him. Oh, your strength is greater than I had imagined.
Am I crazy? He suspected who we were. So throughout this whole quest, he was suspecting us the entire time. And he like kind of hints it here. Your strength is greater than I imagined. Maybe not, but like the context is he knows us.
Oh, I have known your true identity for some time now. I suspected it was you from the beginning. I had to talk to you to be sure. Oh, of course you haven't. With your status, you can hardly be expected to know all of us.
This is also pretty interesting. We reply, I have never met you, right? Here's my question.
Had to talk to you to be sure.
But I never met you.
Oh, of course you haven't.
This is a dream or recollection of memories of the abyssal sibling. The timeline is from this quest, we were in Conria before the journey happened. When I say we, I mean the abyss sibling. The abyss sibling was in Conria before their journey with Daneslave. Because Clothar saw us in Conria, likely before the cataclysm. And after the cataclysm happens, Daneslave and Abyss Sibling goes on this journey through the nations. I think this confirms that now. What the timeline actually is. Now,
with your status, you can hardly be expected to know
because he remembers him.
all of us. In any case, I've been using a fake name this entire time. Ida is the name of a servant I once had. My real name is Clothar.
All this means is that, let's think about this. What do we know so far? Lumine and Ether entered this world. You could say summoned, right? You could say Lumine and Ether was summoned into this world. But that's kind of weird because the travelers, they travel on their own personal, like, action. Regardless, let's say they came to this world. I'm assuming for some reason our traveler didn't wake up. Overslept. Let's put it that way. And the mean,
What did you say?
Kwang, what's up? Thank you for the super chat. Piero summoned the sibling from the heaven to return to their rightful throne as the princess of Conria. Nahida already said that the siblings started their journey after the cataclysm. Piero summoned the siblings from the heavens. Is that confirmed? Just that sentence, Piero summoned the siblings from the heavens? Or is that an assumption from what people were saying? I know the second part is right. The Nahida saying that the siblings started their journey after the cataclysm. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think the first part about Piero summoning the sibling is a speculation that's been misconstrued because I don't recall like a factual information about it. I agree why people are saying that because it sounds very interesting and possible. But I don't think that was confirmed. And Nahida saying that the siblings' journey started from after Cataclysm, that part makes sense. But yeah, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. So the timeline is we came into this world. Ether, our traveler, didn't wake up. Lumine wakes up. This is kind of weird, no? If the starting point of the journey for... No. I need to write this down. I need to draw this. I need to draw this. Because things just... There's more context now, but things still don't make sense. Okay. Siblings arrive. Tavat. Right? Are you guys following? This is amazing drawing, by the way. If we're under the assumption that the siblings landed in Tavat, why was Lumine's journey starting from Conria? Unless we landed in Tavat, but we crash landed in Tavat and Lumine crash landed in Conria. Which also makes no sense. Chat, is it realistic for me to say that they landed in the same location? They landed in the same location when they got here? Yeah, because they... In the trailer, yeah, we landed in the same location. Very close to Mondstadt. So Lumine... I wonder if Lumine's journey was twice. She travels through the entirety of Tavat before the Cataclysm. And then she gets to Conria. Okay. Mondstadt, Liyue, Inazuma, Sumeru, Fontaine, Natlin, Shinznaya, Conria. Okay? What the? So, we crash landed in Mondstadt. We continue to sleep. Lumine goes on to this weird journey by herself, goes to Conria, meets Dainslave. I'm just speculating. This might not be true. Dainslave. And then the Cataclysm happens. No, because why wasn't Dainslave in the cinematics when Lumine was running around? Maybe they got sent into the different era. Ah. Lumine goes to Conria, meets Dainslave. Cataclysm happens, and then they go poof. Let's go wake up her brother. And then they try to leave. And the sustainer blocks them, puts them back down. And then Lumine's like, fuck this shit. No. And Lumine's like, no. And then she goes on a journey with Dainslave again. And then Sumeru is where she found out about Loom of Fate. and then they part ways. Lumine goes to the abyss. And Dainsleif's like, what the fuck? I'm poor. And then we wake up. I feel like there's something missing. Travel was sleeping because of the unknown god. Yeah, but wasn't there a part where it said that our sibling tried to wake us up before, during the cataclysms, to leave, and then we got shut back down? Lumi wouldn't travel twice. Chat, do you think Lumi traveled once or twice? Because of the story of the game, it might have just been once, right? There's a possibility of twice. Oh, I don't know. Is there anything in the game that kind of like hints that she traveled twice? Twice said Nahida? Really? Really? What do I look up? Where do I go to find that information? Where do I look up? Where do I look this up? Where do I look this up? Help! I know, like hints. Where are the hints? I want to look at the hints. Like possible hints. She didn't? Okay. After we free her? Oh. Maybe twice because... What if... No. Lumine traveled once. Actually, she only traveled once. The reason being is because Lumine and Dainsleif was in Mondstadt meeting Andreas, but it's as if Lumine didn't meet Andreas in before. Remember that? Where Dainsleif and we were in that forest in Mondstadt, and then Dainsleif was like, "Yeah, I was here before with the sibling," but it's as if like they were trying to like talk to Andreas, whatever. What was the conversation about that? Fuck me. How did Lumi meet Aranara? It's probably when Lumi was traveling with Dainsleif. Yeah, when we were looking for the eye. Yeah. She said it herself. If she is traveling twice, the second time would be happening right now. Oh, like right now. Okay. So that means technically in the past she only traveled once. Okay, so the thing is then, this might have been something like this. Lumine and Ether, right? This is Dainsleif, he's in Conria. Lumine and Ether crash lands in Mondstadt. We stay asleep. Okay? We stay asleep. The Ardenars don't talk about Dainsleif. That's true, man. Oh, dude, chat. You guys think Dainsleif would have told, or you guys think Arenaras would have told us that, yeah, that Nara, the golden haired Nara, was with the friend? They never said that, right? The Arenaras do mention someone who might have been Dainsleif. Did they do? Did they do that? Did they? Let me look at my notes. I think they did. Please let me know. Because that actually is a key thing that will solve everything. I did the quest, but it was so long. I don't remember every little detail. Dainsleif also has golden hair. That's so fucking annoying. You're right. Yeah, I don't think they did. Because they would have said something. Shit, man. Lumine's going on this journey like 3 or 4 times now then? Don't the pronouns of Golden Nada change based on the... Yeah, it does, but I'm more wondering if the Aranara's ever said the Nada and their friend. Maybe Dainsleif and Lumine split in Sumeru? Like, as in after the event that just occurred in the Zon Conquest, that memory. And then we're suspecting that Lumine went to the Aranaras without Dainsleif after that. They couldn't have split? I don't think they would have split until the very end. No! Chat, was there something that said something about Dainsleif mentioning that when they're traveling together, the cataclysm had already occurred or not? That actually explains everything if I can find out that answer. Did Dainsleif say anything, or the Abyss siblings say anything when they're traveling together, the cataclysm has occurred or not at that moment? That was never mentioned. Oh! This is our answer.
You do know that we need to... Tear stains. You dreamed of your sibling last night, didn't you? All right. Rest here a bit longer then. I'll head into the forest to investigate. Rest here a bit
I know that there's a possibility that Dainsleif wore the mask,
longer then. I'll head into the forest to...
but wasn't his whole thing with this, like, this blue thing on his neck, his arms, wasn't that all part of his immortality corruption, or nah? Yeah, the point I'm getting at is, does he look cursed right now or nah? Clothar is already cursed? True! This is after the cataclysm! Holy shit! It was so simple, yet I was dumb! Okay, so this journey is clearly happening after the cataclysm. Okay, that gives me some basis. Okay. So Dainsleif and Lumine goes... Okay, then how does this work? Then how does this work? Lumine then went on 2 journeys. Aranaras don't remember Lumine being with Dainsleif, from what I recall. I'm not 100%, but I feel like I'm 99% sure. Because I feel like if they did mention it, I would have picked it up immediately. And I'd be like freaking out about it. You know what I mean? like in my mind in the past when I played it, I didn't feel that like craziness. So I'm assuming it never happened. So don't have a painting of two golden people. What is that painting? What is that painting? Old Varanara? It's one in the house. Which house is it? We're so close. I feel like we're so close. How do I get there? I don't know where this is. Underground? How do I get there? Open map near desert. Oh, here. Okay. Which teleport? Top right, bottom right statue. The bottom? Top right? What? You guys are giving me two different answers. Oh, this is. Chat, are you guys talking about this? Wait, that? That's an Aranara, no? Oh, no, but this is depiction of Aranara's drawing. They think they're similar. No? Okay, it's not this. Top right? Okay, we'll go top right. I think the mural changed after we fought the Marana avatar. Before it was just one. So they updated the. Do I go down? Doesn't that just mean the first time it was Lumine and then they updated the image because the second time was Ether? And then that also means that Dainsleif was not in the picture at all to begin with? Wait, this is the one. Is this not the one? The first Marana is one. And then after the second time, it was another one. It's not the one. What? There's another one? Yo, tripping. That's it? Yo, tripping. Yeah. So this means Dainsleif wasn't there. I'm assuming the second one appeared after our instance, and then they just fucking added it. What the fuck? Achievement unlocked. Alright. Oh my gosh. Okay. That means this is the timeline. You can go closer and read. Oh shit, really? A mirror of many Aranara with their fronts and backs facing something strange. The golden Aranara with them. No, there seems to be a change in the mirror. Now there are two golden Aranaras. Okay, so it changed after our intervention. That means this is basically the timeline from all the hints that we got so far, unless it changes in the future. Okay? We crash landed in Mondstadt as the beginning cinematics portray. We don't wake up. Lumine goes on a journey for the first time and gets to Conria, meets Dainsleif, and all the people in Conria. This is probably where fucking Ryandotter meets the sibling to create Albedo. But then the cataclysm hits, where everything gets fucked, and then we go back, and we're like, yo, Ether, we gotta get out of here. And then we try to go out, and the Sustainer's like, yeah, okay, get the fuck out of here. And then we go crash land back again, and then Lumine's like, this is bullshit, I'm going to the Abyss Order. Dainsleif's like, dude, I'm gonna go for a drink. Go somewhere. And Ether is like, what the fuck? No, I skipped it. I skipped it. Okay, let's restart this again. I totally skipped that second round. Holy shit, this timeline is so fucking stupid. Okay. So, this is Dainsleif. We crash land in Mondstadt, just like the beginning cinematic portrays. We stay asleep. Lumi can't wake us up for whatever reason. So, Lumi tries to figure out a way to wake us up. Goes through this journey. Meeting the Aranaras by herself. All that stuff. Eventually goes to Conria. In Conria, cataclysm occurs. And then she tries to wake us up. Right? And then we go to the sustainer and she's like, nope. And then we get back down here. And then Lumi is pissed off. And she goes on another journey with Dainsleif. And this is where the Archon quest that we just played happens in Sumeru. I don't know what happens after that, but eventually Lumine goes to the Abyss. Dainsleif is like, I'm gonna go get a drink. I feel like that's the timeline, right? And her journey, Lumine's journey, technically gets recorded starting Conria. But her journey before getting to Conria is never recorded. Which makes sense because our journey right now before reaching Conria is not being recorded. Dude, that's actually very logical. The first journey of Lumine was never recorded. She gets to Conria and it starts. And then the second journey occurs after we get shut down by the Sustainer. Ah. Why though? I have no idea. They didn't crash land in Mondstadt. They were summoned from the heavens and landed in Conria, which was heavily implied. What did you say? I don't know. Why was it heavily implied? Thank you for the super chat, Kwon, by the way. Thank you for the $5 super chat. They landed in Conria? People keep saying Conria did the summon, but that was like so vague and not 100% accurate. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me look this up.
Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Ku?
By these.
It's something to
Where? Which Archon
Have
quest
no
was it?
doubt.
It was before Scaramouche changed. No, it was after he changed. No, it was before he changed.
Angle on this.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for
Sometimes it's you using them. Other times it's them using us. Give me some.
some other.
All right.
Weird, doesn't it? Share it with about many essay time. There you are. Public.
Yeah, I know it's right before the tree, but
You're here.
Supposed to be laughed at. Allow me to explain the deal, and he's gonna do some investigation.
What think about?
Out of here, beautiful.
Finish the job? I'm struck a deal with the doctor.
You'll come to understand his power
Okay.
was.
I was wondering if there was something more there. So this is the area.
Hey. Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine? But why did we see things from his perspective? When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments,
It's before
I read
this?
this memory in his mind. You
Oh,
have
it's
to
right here.
admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe keep your pretty eyes open.
Catch up with him. Wow. It feels like a
Every bit of information flowing here means something.
Is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of
Ollie, we will now yes.
go ahead? Hey, Matt.
Anything's possible, and your best option is to Ollie are.
It tells him. The rest
I
is
have a. It's after. It's dialogue after the Tori's memory. Can you timestamp link it to me, please?
to you.
Do.
This once in bit of a walking contradiction. He's always talking back, but he has well done to the person he is today. Turns out he can get hurt and angry. Information we. Oh, how interesting.
Must be a riveting conversation from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all. Still looking.
Have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
So, I mean, this dialogue alone just fucking tells you both twins are descenders, no? It's like so stupid that it's like we're doubting this.
Wait, how did you know about that? Didn't Ahita tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if
I still don't think Danes could see Aranada's. Yeah, that's might be true, but the Aranada's probably would have seen him in like the reverse fashion.
didn't know a few things about you.
They said that a sibling isn't a descender. That's because of the information of Conria has been recorded. That's why I'm assuming they assume that another descender. But like, it's not even really conflicting because it's both. That the traveler, Abyss sibling traveler, is both. As in, one, they did arrive into this world from beyond, but their information is recorded, so they're not being classified as a descender.
Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making wait.
Looks similar to those samples. Hey!
Shh.
AC, where's the thingy?
Just wait.
Introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not...
Life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing. But and yet, with ARs, terrible. New path forward.
If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
No, AC, all you gotta do is go find the thingy on YouTube if you have it pulled up and just go here and share with the timestamp. And then send that to me. But unless you don't have it pulled up on YouTube, then never mind.
Hey,
But I think we're here.
investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone
That's because Descenders are classified by the Fatui.
who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Tevat. Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset.
Well,
Huh?
Okay, I think this is it. I think this is it.
the reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul, it might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her first destination when she arrived in this world. Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens.
Conria
Conria was her first destination when she arrived in this world. That doesn't mean Lumine landed in Conria. All it means is Lumine landed somewhere, but her first destination was Conria. It doesn't, but it still doesn't mean that she went on a journey before going. Okay, you're right. Let me continue with this dialogue. Let's see if there's more additional context.
About what?
The reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul, it might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her first destination when she arrived in this world. Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
The jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria and lived with your sister for a time.
Okay, I believe that.
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes.
It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very
Myself now. Right. My power's all but completely spent. For very so in return, and can you hear my voice? All I can do is exchange a few words to change the past.
Okay. So, fuck this timeline. Oh! Let's think about this. There's two options. What's up, Jack the Turtle? Hello. Yeah. But it's very... There, Lumine did go on 2 journey. Okay. Let's go with that idea then. There is 2 journey for Lumine. Somehow... We fucking crash landed... Maybe it's like this, chat. We crash landed here. We went to sleep. Lumine's first destination was Conria. That's why to the jester, it's almost as if the jester only knows about Lumine and that's it. From the dialogue of this that we just read. But Cataclysm has not yet to happen. Right? Right? I think Lumina and Ether both landed in Mondstadt, but Lumine just went to Conria first. And Cataclysm has yet to happen. And that's where...
Seven. Said, Papa's here. I have known your true identity for some time.
I think this actually might give us more clue.
finally calling you traveler. Oh, I have known your true identity for some.
This is probably where Lumine and Caribert, no, Clothar met when they first got here. And then later, Clothar says...
Suspected it was you. Oh, of course you haven't. With your status, you can hardly be expected to know.
Why specific in Mondstadt? Because the intro cinematics. The stars fell right next to Mondstadt.
All of us. In any case, I've been using a fake name.
Just fell, not... I know you're right.
Who are you? From another world?
That's... Where the hell is this? Oh my god. Elon, please!
Take it easy.
Okay. It's going right there. Bro. It might be Conria. It's not Starfell Cliff. Or Lake. It might just be Conria. Because this is me. This is me. It's going here. This is Liyue. Very high. The trajectory of the star is very high. But now this is a little bit lower. It's going here. What the fuck is over here? What is that? What is that? What is that? It's the Spiral Abyss, no? The Nameless Island is, I think, further up. It's literally going to whatever that island is, and I'm assuming that's the Spiral Abyss. That's the Musk Reef. Nameless Island is up here. It's up here. I'm not crazy, right? The star is literally going straight to Musk Reef. It's not the Nameless Island. Nameless Island is way up here. It's like over here. This initial 2 stars is not going over here. This is where we woke up. So what does that mean? What does this mean? We can't just assume it's from the cinematic. I know. This is the only hint we have, though, sadly. You know how we wake up here, right? There is a possibility that the stars didn't land here because when we wake up, we've already experienced the sustainer, and we get thrown back into Tavant. And this is just where we happen to wake up. Okay. When we wake up, this is almost factual. When we wake up here, this is factual. When we wake up here, it's already after the separation between the two travelers when we were trying to leave. And then we just happen to wake up here. Our Abyss sibling, who knows what happens to them. We were already traveling.
So, what you're trying to say is that you fell here from another world?
You might be right.
But when you wanted to leave and go on to the next world, your path was blocked by some unknown god? Yeah.
Was it? Took away my...
Kiana.
Took away my sister. How many years ago was it? I don't know. But I intend to find out. When I woke, I was all alone. Until I met you 2 months ago.
Okay, I think you're right. I'm so fucking confused. Dude, I don't fucking know. I don't know anymore! By the way, have you read the Starfield Lake description? My biggest concern is the reason why these two stars crash landed in Conria doesn't make sense is because Piero does not have information about us. Maybe. About us. Maybe they only summon one? That's not... Well, it's very clear they arrived at the same time, the siblings. Maybe the stars did get separated. No, because we were asleep. Like, if we got separated, how did Lumine know where to go to wake us up later? I don't know, chat. The timeline's very wonky. I guess all we can gather from the quest, the Archon quest, is that Lumine traveled with Daneslave after the Cataclysm. And whatever that number was, travel number 1, 2, or 3, I don't know what have you.
What did you say?
After that was when Lumine decided to split with Daneslave, right? That was the final journey of Lumine with Daneslave is the final journey, and that's when they split. Edikun, thank you for the super chat. It doesn't explain why the Abyss sibling is considered the Abyss by Clothar before the Abyss Order was formed. Why did Lumine get the title. It's probably, I'm assuming, because of her initial affiliation with Conria. Let me go back to this. When she was there.
This entire time. Ida is the name of a servant I once had. My real name is Clotar.
Okay, buddy.
Clotar.
Okay, buddy. Outbreak.
You saw it too, didn't you? Unmistakable, eh? The power. No, it's the power of the past. I have seen it with my own. Salvation for us not deserve his fate, but now it's wonderful. He will be able to weave. Shall now become the loom.
The loom of fate.
Oh, I never imagined that you, of all people, would deny the abyss. How ridiculous! We once believed that you would bring new strength and hope.
That's the simplest explanation. When we think of the power of the abyss, what color do you think of, chat? What's the color? What's the color that you think of? Purple, sure. Black, sure. Blackish purple. But weirdly, the context behind the abyssal power, going all the way back to forbidden knowledge, because we've already established today that the abyssal power originates or is, if not similar or exactly the same with the forbidden knowledge. The traveler coming to this world is the forbidden knowledge itself of beyond. The power from beyond. Does that make sense? Danes, they've talked about this. The power from beyond is probably the traveler. It's like similar to the second who came. Does that make sense? The forbidden knowledge. What's beyond this, like the knowledge beyond this world of Tavat, is basically introduced with their arrival. And I feel like if what Piero says is true, I don't know the timeline of what happened with Lumina, whatever, but if it is true that she was summoned or called forth by the people of Conria, it would make sense why Conrian people would consider the Abyss sibling Abyss that will deliver them.
To Conria, to us, you were the Abyss. A wondrous mystery.
Power from beyond, right? Power from beyond.
Far beyond our imagination and comprehension. And the one who controls the abyss can control everything.
Us? Or the abyssal sibling?
Yearned for that future. We looked to you to take us there. But what did you bring us instead? Oh, Princess of Conria.
I don't understand this last sentence.
You to take us there.
We yearn for that future. We look to you to take us there.
But
what did you bring us instead? This is a statement of resentment, right? It's like, that's what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to deliver us, but what the fuck? You didn't do it. Right? So where's the source of this resentment? What did he do? What did Lubin do? Oh, brought the cataclysm.
Oh, Princess of Conria.
And then we don't get any more information, and then the mirror seat happens. What's funny, though, is maybe now we have more context behind the Battle Pass cutscene.
Once, there was a glorious kingdom established among the heavens. From that kingdom came a crowned heir, tasked with seeking out the Genesis Pearl from the kingdom of darkness. The first crowned heir began her journey of seeking the pearl.
She was deceived, and the memory of her noble origins faded.
Is it possible that Lumina Ether came to this world under their own volition, but the summoning idea of the people of Conria, they misconstrued it and assumes that they're the one that summoned them, but the Lumina Ether, they arrived to with their own volition. It just happens to mirror coincidentally.
She now believed that she was the queen of the kingdom of darkness.
So, from this cinematic,
The
first Crown Air, they come in this cinematic. They come separately, right? In this cinematic, it is implied that they came separately. However, we were asleep, so technically our journey was not simultaneous. It was separate. And then this deceive and corruption might be related to the abyss, but more so Conria.
And the memory of her noble origins faded. She now believed that she was the queen of the kingdom of darkness.
Conria.
But take heart. A second crowned heir had already taken up the path where the first had stumbled. This is the story.
Dude, I think this is like, if not exactly true, one of the same story.
Of your journey, of your tale to be told.
I always was under the impression that like this cutscene makes no sense to the siblings because we know that they arrived together in this world, but Ether was sleeping and Lumine just starts the journey by herself. And then in Conria, she gets like confused. Kingdom of Conria, Abyss is the corruption. Abyss Order is just a byproduct of the corruption. Conria is the byproduct of corruption. The power of the Abyss is what ultimately caused all this shit to happen, and that's the forbidden knowledge. But why was... No, the forbidden knowledge gets infested into the human world, and then they get corrupted. And then that ideology gets... that corrupts Lumine later.
Darkness. But take heart. A second crowned heir had already taken up the path where the first had stumbled. This is the story of your journey, of your tale to be told.
The second crowned heir isn't given a gender? I guess not. But looks like a dude. Maybe they're both. Because technically we are the second crowned heir. My tale. That makes a lot of sense, actually. But first is she no matter which we play. Yeah, I know, but all these fucking cinematics, the main focal point is fucking Ether anyway. We have triplets. Princess Fisher, you're wildin' right now. You're fucking wildin' right now. Fucking Princess Fisher. Yeah, and then this cutscene happens. Yeah, I don't know, chat. I don't know about this whole fucking like order. I still don't know. All I know is that it is possible. It is very possible that Lumine eventually made her way to Conria, if not directly. Stayed there for a while. Stayed with Piero for a while. Met Clothar here. Met Rhindaughter here. Probably met Dainsleif here. But the weird puzzle piece is that in Aranara's situation and story, Dainsleif wasn't there. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Maybe. What if it was something like this, chat? Lumine was here, and then because like the Conrian people are like, yeah, you're our savior. Can you figure out a way to save us? And Lumine felt bad, so she goes on a journey to figure out how to make that happen. And she goes on a journey by herself. By the time she gets back to Conria, Cataclysm happens. And then she's like, fuck this, I'm leaving. And Dainsleif's like, where are you going? You gotta go get your brother? Okay. And then go to our brother, Ether. We try to leave. And then the Sustainer's like, nah, fuck you. And then we crash back and land. And Dainsleif's like, oh, your brother. I don't know where he is. Because this is where they get separated, right? This is where they get separated. And Lumine's really, she's like crying and stuff. And Dainsleif witnesses that. And then they go on another journey. And then what? Isn't it as simple as that? No? Isn't this the same thing that I said earlier? The only difference is they just landed in an obscure place. We're sleeping. Lumine goes to Conria. That's the only difference. I think that's what the storyline is. Or that's what the timeline is. We crash land at the same location. But because if it wasn't the same location, how the fuck does Lumine know where to go to wake us up? If we were separated, it doesn't have to be Mondstadt. It could be anywhere. It could be anywhere. The only thing is Lumine knows the location of us to come back and wake us up later. But then it just so happens that Lumine's first destination was Conria. And then when she got there, Conria's like, save us. And they're like, all right, I'll figure it out. I'll go on the journey by myself. Goes to the journey, comes back, and then the cataclysm happens for whatever reason. And then she's like, oh, fuck this shit. I'm going to go break up my brother. We're out of here. And then we try to leave. Sustainer bonks us. We gets thrown to some obscure place. Eventually ends up in Mondstadt. And then Lumine is just like gone somewhere else because we were separated by the Sustainer. And then it just so happens Dainsleif's like, yo, you want to look for your brother? I got you. And then we go on they go on another journey. And then they get separated here. Lumine's like, fuck, the Abyss, the power of the Abyss. It makes sense. And she goes to the Abyss Order. Dainsleif's like, what the fuck? I need to go find the brother. And so we meet. In my mind, with the current information that I have, that is the most logical explanation. Again, main point being, we must have landed in the same spot. Because how the hell Lumine knows where we were to wake us up if we were separated from our initial meteor falling in the very beginning? I agree with the idea that the Conrian people might have quote-unquote summoned Lumine. That's why Pietro only specifies Lumine's arrival to Conria as the first location, but nothing about Ether. We landed at the same time, but we weren't sleeping. Didn't it say that we were sleeping? And eventually Lumine came to wake us up and then we tried to leave? I don't think they're separated originally. Could be that she don't want to wake him up because they were originally fall. Because they probably originally fall during Archon Wars. I don't know. I don't think this timeline goes that far back. What about Traveler telling Dane some of his memories returning about Conria? We? Did we return to Conria? Did we say that? Oh, Traveler has been to Conria. I think you're right. Didn't they vaguely mention about that? I mean, if that's the case, then it's even simpler. We crash landed. We fucking went to that doesn't make sense though, because the Conrian people don't know about Ether. Oh no! Wasn't it something like Lumi woke us up? And then we went to see the destruction of Conria together and we're like, let's get the fuck out of here? Wasn't that the context? It was she came to wake us up and then she wanted to show us for some reason, look at this shit happening in Conria. That's why we remember that visual. Then it's very likely that we didn't crash land anywhere near Mondstadt. We crash landed like basically right outside Conria. Yeah? And then Lumine was the one that was able to move because she was awake and we were still sleeping and nobody in Conria knew where we were or the existence of us. We were just fucking sleeping, maybe right outside Conria. Yeah, nobody would know us anyway. And then she's like, okay, I gotta go like next door and wake up my brother, get the fuck out of here. It's like, yo, bro, wake up. Look, turn around. Look at this shit. Cataclysm. Let's leave. Maybe they're a lot closer than we initially anticipated. Venti says he knows you before, right? Yeah, that's kind of sus. I don't know, chat. I don't think I can try to figure out any more than this, honestly. This timeline thing. I think we spent an hour on this timeline and we're just going in circles, I think. But for what it's worth,
what did you say?
I think we're closer than before. Calling David a super chat. If she landed in Mondstadt, how would she know how to go to Conria? Isn't this her first arrival in Tavad? How would she? Yeah, I don't think they landed in Mondstadt. In hindsight, I think it's more likely that landed close to Conria. But then we were asleep, and the Lumine's the only one that went into Conria or like was moving around in Conria. Yeah. Them crash landing in Mondstadt also, it's like kind of moot point because we wake up and we traveled a little bit before meeting Paimon anyway, so. But yeah, chat, I think that's pretty much all the things that I talked about, or that I thought about as I was rethinking everything that happened in this Archon quest. I think for what it's worth, I'm probably gonna make a video about who the possible sinner is. And then just add context to everything that I've talked about. That might be the case. If not, it's like completely okay, because this is just me speculating anyway at this point. As far as like, dude, honestly, I could make 2 videos out of this. What do you think? With all this? I like the Helitro Herald evolution moment. Fun stream. Yeah, I personally believe that is very possible. Timeline? I'm just gonna pass on that bullshit. I'm not gonna make anything remotely close to this fucking timeline. There's no reason to make this fucking timeline thing into a video. Because it's just like, I don't know. I'm fucking confused. So what are the 2 most important things, chat? Is the identity of the sinner and the evolution of Tilitros. That's it, really, right? I could probably put that into one video. That's probably the most important thing out of this entire thing with the small additional context. As far as like why is Kaya so suspicious, I'm assuming we'll get more information about Kaya during the Windbloom. The sinner and what happened to Caribert. Right, okay, yeah. The twins? We also just know so little about the twins themselves. Yeah. It's kind of sus. But, yo, I hope this was an entertaining stream, chat. We've discussed a lot. I didn't think it was going to be this confusing, but thank God that I'm not making this stream into a video. Instead, I'm gonna take all the discussions that we had and then consolidate everything and then make it into a video. So it's definitely easier. Strangely. So to give you a little context about this Theory Thursday stuff. Chat, basically what I'm doing is Theory Thursdays, we have a conversation about this like this right now, right? Just like have a topic, I do some research beforehand, present that topic to you guys to see how you feel about it. And then if I feel that you guys might be like, oh, you know what? Even though that's a little bit copium, it makes sense. If I get that kind of a feedback, then in my mind, it tells me, okay, so I'm not crazy. There's some context, even if I might be wrong, there's something here. Then I would make that into a video later in time, right? For instance, this conversation today, I'm going to go back and watch the whole thing again. And then I'm going to record it in a more narrative fashion and edit it that way and then release the video. Does that make sense? Basically, yes, this is a stream for me to consolidate theory, material, and ideas. And to see what your feedback is. Because I noticed, man, I can never tell if my idea is cool or interesting enough unless I get feedback from somebody. And this stream does exactly that. So, with that in mind, hopefully this video will be out in like the next maybe 4 or 5 days. Who knows? Before you go, be careful with the new Honkai Vector animation, which is spoilers. Got it. Thank you. Hoping this stream was entertaining, everybody. I'm also hoping that I didn't overstep any boundaries or hurt anybody's feelings, because as much as I try not to make it that, sometimes I do make mistakes. But I enjoyed today's stream. It was fun, at least for me. Dude, I talked non-stop for 3 hours. Next time I'll be streaming is tomorrow, but it'll be on Twitch. Make sure you follow me on Twitch. Alright. I'll be doing the Windbloom Festival starting tomorrow on Twitch. And then, hey, with all this context, now you have this information that I gave you today. Think about it for a minute. Let it marinate in your mind. And then the next time your favorite streamer plays the Archon Quest live and you go to watch it, think about what's going on. Yeah? Think about what I said and think about what's going on. And then you start to realize, oh shit, what he said might be true. I gave you homework. Alright, everybody, I'm out. Thank you so much. Hit the like button before you go. Join our Discord. Follow me on Twitter to keep you guys updated on my streams and theory stuff, or just anything in general. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow if you're watching me on Twitch, okay? Alright. Bye-bye. Thank you for super chats. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you for just chatting here with me. And thank you for just hanging out. Even though it's really difficult for me to reply to everybody's message, I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And bye. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh my god, I'm hungry. Dude, I talk so much. I'm not used to talking this much. Motherfucker. How am I gonna consolidate everything that just happened? I'm just gonna cut out the entire portion of the timeline, bro. Fuck that. This is a bullshit-ass timeline. How am I supposed to figure out anything? And every fucking time we get any information about the timeline, not only... It doesn't clear anything up, it just convolutes everything even more. It's ridiculous. If anything, though, I do feel like I'm one step closer to Loom of Fate. Makes me so mad. I know. What if the siblings are from the world where the forbidden knowledge originated from? I think that's very likely. I honestly think that is the case, to be quite honest. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you next time. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Have a good night. Oh, leave a comment in this video if you have. If you leave a comment in this live stream, I can read it easier than like you saying something in chat and everything flooding away. If that makes sense. If you really want to share something, leave a comment in this live stream because live stream comments are easier for me to read because there's not so many. Okay? And then I'll take a look. I may not reply, but I'll definitely read it and I'll just be like thinking about it for a while. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Peace.